is a moderately successful comedian, an average author, and a
very accomplished
actor, and your chance to speak directly with him has arrived. Call 866-969-1969. The phone lines are open, and the Jim Norton Show starts now.
Something smells like vomit in this studio. Bring it to Opie. Did he smell like puke because he had kids puke?
Yeah. You don't remember the story this morning?
No, but over when Mike was sitting.
Oh.
Nikki, but she doesn't smell bad. She always smells good.
Would you be surprised if it was Mike?
No. Hi, guys. I like the new intro, by the way. It feels much more natural as a well-accomplished actor to be heralded as such, if I may say heralded. All right, guys, call up if you want. And let's see here. Molly in New York has a complicated entanglement with a married man. Uh-oh.
Hi, Jim.
Hi,
I love
Molly.
you. You're the best.
Thank you.
So I've been dating a man in his 40s. He has 2 kids, and from what I thought, a really estranged wife.
How old are you?
So I'm 22.
Okay. So he's...
And I know. And for a long time, he had been my mentor. And last Sunday, she called me and flips out. But to be honest, most of the things she had to say, they weren't bad about me. They were all about him. They were about how he used to refuse to go, to AA, to seek any counseling for his alcoholism. He doesn't really drink around me, but I guess he's really made an issue around her. And as much as I feel like I should be heeding this warning and advice, I don't feel ready to give up on it yet.
Well, what is there to give up on? Let's be very honest. He's married. You obviously, even if he doesn't drink a lot around you, I guarantee you, the personality. Who in your life was a drinker when you were a kid? Was your father?
My dad.
Okay, of course you was. So what's happening is, this is daddy issues 101, and you don't have to be a genius to figure that out. So he's an alcoholic, probably like your dad was, and you're just trying to resolve whatever shit you didn't resolve with your dad with this guy. It's not going to go anywhere.
It's not. Okay.
You're 22. Go out and find another guy. Not that he's a terrible guy, but he's got a life already. Why don't you go out and find another guy?
I think part of what's really been holding me back is that he helps me a lot sort of in my career. We're in the same industry, and he does help me a lot with work. We both work in the journalism field.
Okay.
And part of that, I feel like because he's helped me so much in my professional life, that I owe him something in his personal life to help him get it together. And that's what's really difficult is whenever he says, well, I don't drink around you, you make me feel better about that. I feel like I owe it to him to be in his life.
Well, no, you don't owe it to him, and you're not doing it for that reason. You're doing it to resolve your own stuff. You may be telling yourself, I'm doing it because I want to be good to him and I owe it to him, because that's a safer answer than, wow, I fell right into every cliche. What I mean? We never want to think that we fall into every cliche that we should have avoided. But, what you ought to work on is the adult child of an alcoholic issues, because those are big ones. When you grow up with someone who's a drinker or whatever, it affects you a lot. So my suggestion would be to stop with this shit and work on your own ACLA stuff. That's my suggestion. And believe me,
never speak to him?
No, I'm not saying never speak to him. But, look, he's still with his wife. She called you. That's the warning shot. Right. If you legitimately didn't know, okay, that happens to people. You had a warning shot fired across the bridge. Now you have to heed it.
Yeah. Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you. I feel a little bit better.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Let's see here. I don't know if I'm an alcoholic. Can you tell me? It's, Anthony in Long Island. No, I'm kidding. Hello. Bob in New Mexico. How are you?
Good morning, Jim. How's it going?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I've been kind of thinking back and forth with if I'm an alcoholic or not. I work 6 nights a week, but the one night I do get off, I drink like a fish,
Sure.
10, 12 beers, and come home, pass out, go to work the next day. Any other day of the week, if I have a beer, it's like one.
Yeah.
I may or may not finish it. But
you might be what they call, by the way, excuse me, you might be what they call a periodic, where there are guys that will binge drink for like a weeks at a time, and then there are periodics who can just do it occasionally or when they do it. Like, you're a functional guy. You can, work all week and this and that, but when you get a chance, you fucking suck down 10 or 12. Honestly, dude, my experience, normal people don't do that.
Okay.
Most normal people, most non-problem drinkers do not suck down 12 beers on their day off.
Okay. Is this something I should maybe look at going to meetings for?
Well, you might want to look up a 12-step group.
5 or 6.
Well, I mean, and again, most people I've experienced don't think I might be an alcoholic until they usually are. I'm not saying never, but I haven't met a lot of people who thought about going to meetings or thought about being an alcoholic if they weren't. So you might already know the answer and you just want a confirmation. But why don't you look up a 12-step group in New Mexico in your area and go to a few meetings and talk to a few people. You have zero to lose by doing that.
Sure.
I think they'll be able to tell you and you'll be able to answer the question yourself. But I think you already know the answer to it.
Yeah, kind of do.
Yeah, maybe you're not an alcoholic like a Bowery bum, but it's obviously a problem for you, and it's good that you recognize it, man. So try going to a meeting and seeing what they have to say, and see if you can relate to anybody there.
Okay.
Okay.
Will do. Thank you, Jim.
Okay, buddy. Good luck, man.
Come down here sometime.
What's that?
Looking forward to you coming down here sometime.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I'd love to get to New Mexico. Actually, thanks, Bob.
Yep.
Wayne in Alabama, my wife says, I'm not affectionate enough, so we don't have sex, then complains we don't have sex. Yes, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Wayne, what's up?
Yeah, I've been married about 5 years, and over the last 6 months, it's just kind of gotten to the point where, she's, I don't hold her hand enough, or I don't do this and that. And then I got to the point where I've tried to make an effort over the last couple of months to do that, and then it's just, oh, you're just trying to have sex with me, or oh, you're just doing this to have. So I just get in this kind of circle of, like you said, damn if you do, damn if you don't, to where if I start trying to be affectionate enough or, start rubbing her back or hold her hand in public or something like that, it's always like, hey, you want to have sex when we get home. Then
well, why is she giving you shit and then calling you out?
I have no fucking clue. That's what I'm concerned about. I don't know if it's some of her friends at work or, because a lot of her friends are, I guess I want to say newlyweds, but they're less than 2 years into it, and so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But it's getting frustrating on my end.
Well, how long have you guys been together? Sorry to interrupt you.
No, we've been married 5 years, and we've been together probably 8.
You have kids?
We have one. Yeah, we have a 2-year-old.
Do you think she's getting do you think she has like a secret resentment against you, or she's sick of you?
I don't think so, because when we have sex, it's
right.
It's great, but it's just the point of getting that. I don't know if she's kind of, involved in like a Nicholas Sparks novel or something, that some unreasonable expectation of what she thinks of me.
Well, did you ask her what she wants? Sometimes if you say to a person, like if you tell her what you just told me nicely, like, look, you said we don't have, I'm not affectionate enough. And then I hold your hand, and then you use that to accuse me of only trying to do it to have sex with you. So what is it you really want? Sometimes you have to ask a person, and then they realize they've been a little unreasonable.
Yeah.
I would suggest asking her.
Yeah, because I took it the wrong way. I've been passive aggressive and things. I've said stuff that's probably rubbed her the wrong way when I have done that. So I guess probably being, a lot less passive aggressive and kind of coming straightforward with it.
Yeah, just ask her, because she might not even know she's doing it. Sometimes people are shitty and they don't even realize they're being shitty. So, I would suggest asking her nicely, because if you accuse someone, they get defensive and you don't get anything done. I know, because that's all I've ever done in my life.
Yeah. And that's the thing, and I'm trying to look inwardly if it's myself, if I have been less affectionate, because over the course of 8 years, I guarantee it's not like it was when we were in college, but at the same time, I still do stuff for her and try to do nice things for her, and the kid really hasn't affected our relationship or sex that much. So
okay.
I don't know, but yeah, I'll try to take a little more direct approach.
Okay, buddy.
All right, man. I'll see you next month in Atlanta. I'm making the trip over. So.
Thank you, Wayne. Good luck, man. Okay.
All right. Bye, man. Appreciate it.
Okay. Hi, Danny in Chicago. A long-distance relationship. Ooh.
Hey, Jimmy.
What's up, buddy?
I really love the Degenerate show on Netflix. It was wonderful.
American Degenerate. Thank you, buddy. What's up?
Yeah, great job. Me and my girlfriend, we've been dating now for just about a year now, and I went to move out to L.A. for school for a year, and she still lives in Chicago, and we're just going through the long distance thing, and it's always trouble because she's always busy and I'm always busy, and I'm just always curious, how would you handle that, and what advice do you have for the long distance thing?
Well, how I would handle it and my advice are different. I would probably cheat and ruin the relationship. My advice would be to just try to find times to connect. How often do you see each other?
Oh, we try to see each other like once a month, but
Okay.
you know, we're both really super busy. We're both architects, so it's always traveling back and forth.
Well, how long will you be apart for? Will you eventually have a time where you're not?
Well, that's another thing I wanted to ask. I don't know if I should tell her maybe we should both look for jobs out in California for now, or pick a different city or something.
Well, have you fucked anyone else?
No.
And you don't think she has?
No, I don't think so.
All right,
That's that Chicago Midwestern thing, I think.
Because long-distance relationships do survive. People go in the military. People go away for school. I mean, they're very doable. I would say you probably don't want it to be a permanent long-distance thing, but if you guys have an idea of when you'll be able to actually live together or whatever, or be in the same city, I would just suggest finding times where you could talk. I mean, if it's working, it's working.
Yeah, that's true. Do you think that you have any other advice, like, for keeping her happy and all that stuff?
No, because I don't know her. I don't know what she wants. Again, I think a lot of times all people want is to know that they're not being forgotten. With text messaging, it's a lot easier, too. You can text all day. You can keep in touch and chat. It's a lot easier to stay connected now with the technology. So just make sure that she knows you're thinking of her. And, I think that's most women would like to know that you're not out fucking other girls.
Well, that's perfect advice. I do send her flowers every once in a while, and I think that makes her feel good.
All right,
so.
yeah, and tell her, look, I'm sorry I fucked your friend, even if you didn't.
True,
all right?
Jimmy.
Good luck, buddy.
All right, thanks much.
Take care.
Bye.
Hello, John in New Jersey, who quit drinking a while ago and started again. What's up, buddy?
Hey, doing pretty good. Well, considering I started drinking again.
How long had you stopped?
I stopped for like 18 years. I had 2 DWIs.
Wow.
And, I crashed into a tree, got totally fucked up from it, and lost my job. And it took me a while to get back on my feet. Now I'm back on my feet, married and everything, and I just started drinking like a year ago. I had over 18 years sobriety.
So things are going a little too well sometimes, and they say that people in recovery, a lot of times we're in danger when things are going well because we get complacent and we forget exactly the penalty for doing that. Like, you know what? I can have a drink. Do you still go to any type of 12-step group?
No, see, when I quit 18 years, I didn't go to any 12-step program at all. I did it on my own, and I still hung out with the same friends and stuff, and I didn't relapse because of my friends. It's just like a chain of events where I got injured, started with prescription meds, and then just one thing led to another, and I started drinking again.
Well, did you ever think of going to meetings now of some sort?
I am vehemently against meetings for myself. I'm not saying it won't work for me. I'm happy that they're out there for other people that it work. What
is it about them in general that you're against?
I probably go there and I probably would think that I'm not as bad as the people that are there. The stories that they have would trump mine hands down.
Right, and that's, by the way, you're in some cases you're right, in some cases you're not, but that's the way alcoholics think. Like, instead of looking at that and being grateful and going, wow, I'm really glad I didn't do that, or thank God that didn't happen to me yet. We look at it like, fuck it. See, that's not me. They say identify, don't compare. Because whenever you compare stories, you're going to find a million differences. But it's identifying with the stuff that connects you, whether it's the stuff that causes us to drink, or, the way we bury feelings, or the way we avoid things, or the way we handle anger, or whatever it is you identify with. And I find that to be a lot more helpful than comparing and looking for the differences.
Have you ever come close to falling off the wagon at all?
Sure I have, of course. They say, there are times where everyone in recovery comes close, and then I may never know how close I was. You know what I mean? I may never know, but they say you're only an arm's length away, and that sounds like a corny, fucking dumb little slogan or bumper sticker, but it's the truth. I've actually thought of that because I'm around booze all the time because of my job.
Yeah,
I'm like, I could pick this up and throw 25 years out like that. I'm that close. The idea is boom. In the time it just took me to say that to you, I could end 25 or 26 years of sobriety. So I'm never going.
18, I know it.
Yeah, and it happened. And dude, if you've had 18 years of sobriety, if you got DWIs, you understand what this is, and you understand what it does to you. So why go through this alone? Why not try to find meetings instead of anticipating how you're going to react? Why don't you realize that you tried it on your own, now you're drinking again, and maybe you need a little extra help?
If but do you know the percentages of people who stop with the help of the program?
I do not. I honestly don't. I never thought about it. I never cared. I imagine it's low, but not as low as people who do it on their own.
Because I remember reading about, or just it could have been either word or mouth. It said the percentages were almost the same, and that's one thing that stuck with me. I'm going to probably have to do more research on that to see if it is like that. But
instead of doing research, like instead of finding reasons as to why not to go, which is all research is, because you're not looking for research to support going, why don't you just take a good action, which is to go to it and see if it's for you? Like, what have you lost? Say you go for a couple of months or you go to a few meetings. What have you lost? You've lost nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Right now, you know where you're going to end up. You got drunk drivings already. It's worse now than it was 18 years ago. They're going to get you again. And nobody plows into a fucking family or a kid until they plow into a family or a kid. And nobody wants to hear, I had 18 years and then I fucked up when you run somebody over. Then it's too late, man. The game is over. Right now, you haven't. What's that, buddy?
That's unacceptable in my book.
But do you know what I'm saying? That happens all the fucking time. Like, whenever I hear about drunk drivers killing people, yeah, I'm disgusted with them, but I'm like, oh my fucking God, am I glad that's not me. Because I am no better than those people. When I'm drinking, I'm an irrational asshole, and I would do that.
All right, your insight's very positive.
Just try it, dude. It's not going to hurt you. It costs you nothing. You don't have to give your name. You don't have to give them. You have to sign up for a fucking thing. Just try it. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
All right. I appreciate it, Jimmy.
Good luck, man. But get back on track. 18 years. You can do it if you want to.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Good luck with yours.
Thank you, buddy. Hi, Tom in New Jersey. Let's talk about your interest in trannies.
Hi, buddy. Hey, I actually got a lot of my information from when you talk about things all the time.
Oh, good. Bad news. I'm sorry.
No, it's not. I have a girlfriend, so I don't think that I'm homosexual.
No,
but I'm definitely interested in having my experience with a transsexual.
Okay.
The things that you talk about, I mean, are they all like joke stuff, or I mean, is it serious? Like, I mean, is this something that I could possibly be interested in, you think?
Well, only you can answer that. For my jokes, some are true, some are exaggerations, some are false. It all depends on the particular joke. Sometimes you're just being silly. Sometimes you're being, really, it does cover the entire spectrum. But for yourself, you have to answer that question. How long you been with the girl?
About a year.
I mean, I would suggest not doing it while you're in a relationship. A, because you're cheating. B, you could catch something. And C, then you have to look at her and know you did something dishonest in a relationship. And you might, like, if you're single and you want to try it, then try it. But I mean, for now, why don't you just jerk off thinking about it? Do you watch tranny porn?
Yeah.
And does she watch it with you?
No, she doesn't know.
I think that's the greatest killer in relationships. Shame over what we like sexually.
Right.
Shame over what we fantasize about. Like, again, there's plenty of women that have rape fantasies. They don't want to be raped. They just like the fantasy. To me, as long as you're not, again, I have, the line for me is kids and animals. Like, I know that this sounds like, well, that's everyone's line, but there are people that really fantasize about that shit. That I think is truly, truly unhealthy. But most of the other stuff, it's amazing the shame we have. I'm not saying tell your girlfriend, she might leave you, but it's amazing in relationships how much we hide from each other because we're embarrassed or we're afraid of how the other person's going to react. I'm at a place now, I mean, I'm single and I date here and there, but I've had no real relationships, but I don't care if a girl I start seeing approves of what I like or not. I don't care. Like, she may not like it and it may cost us a relationship. But I'm not going to apologize for who I am and what I like, and you shouldn't either.
Right. Yeah, no, my whole thing is like, I'm just worried about like you said, like, if I were to venture out and try it is catching something.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
How do you, how do you gauge? You never truly know. But I mean, that could happen anytime. I can meet a woman in a club and I could catch something.
Sure, absolutely. That's why you should probably stay faithful if you're in a relationship. Because I've cheated and always regretted it. I never felt good about cheating. All right.
Right.
Just jerk off thinking about it for now.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, man. You know, because the problem is this guy has a little bit of a dilemma. I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, a guy's winter dilemma typically is that, you know, all right, she wants to bundle up. You want to see some skin. That's the problem.
Right.
So how do you have take care, man? Because I'm just thinking about, how do you have a hot holiday when she's always cold? I don't know how you do it. Pajamagram can definitely help. Maybe not that man's problem, but in general, heat up Christmas, for Pete's sake. Get your wife or girlfriend or lady partner a hoodie footy at Pajamagram.com. It combines the warmth of a hoodie with the coziness of footy pajamas. Women love a footy pajama. That sound they make on the floor, it's adorable. Head to toe warmth means she's going to be hot in no time. It's made of soft micro fleece. It has zip-off feet, just in case you have a foot fetish. Let's say her feet are cold and you have a foot fetish. Well, you don't want to see her in the little footy things, but she doesn't want her feet to be cold just because you're a creep who likes toes. So you compromise. She walks around all day, and then when she gets in the sack with you, zip! And there's the feet, right for your face. And it has a drawstring hood. See it at Pajamagram.com. It has a long zipper in the front. Now imagine unzipping that when the things get hot. Pajamagram also has the sweet and sexy set. It includes the hoodie footies and a sexy midnight fantasy short set. Buy both today and save $50. Make Christmas hot. Heat her up and make her happy with a hoodie footy. A Pajamagram is something that she's going to love and she's going to look great wearing. Call or go to Pajamagram.com to order, and you can finally have that gift that will get her to take her clothing off every night. So what are you waiting for? You have nothing better to do other than listen to this show? Call now. Every Pajamagram includes free gift packaging, so you don't have to wrap overnight, and delivery by Christmas is guaranteed. Visit Pajamagram.com or call 1-800-GIVE-PJs. That's 1-800-GIVE-PJs. Now, let's see. John in New Jersey, another John, sober 14 years, thinking about drinking again. Hello, John.
Hey, Jimmy, how are you?
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, I've been in recovery for 14 years.
Okay.
And I moved. I lost my house in Sandy, and I moved out. So I stopped going to meetings, I guess, and I guess that's going to be the ultimate answer. But you know, I've been listening for a while, and I love listening to you, you know, on the show.
Sure. Thank you.
One of the things I was going to ask you was, don't you think that you're breaking traditions by doing this?
No, not at all. And I'll tell you why. I believe me, I'm very, very conscious of that. Never once have I ever endorsed publicly a particular group. I suggest people go to 12-step meetings. I have never named a 12-step meeting. I have never affiliated myself with a 12-step group. So no, I'm not.
Don't you think you're just going around the back door with it?
No, I'm answering.
But you use every terminology that's used in an AA meeting.
So what?
Well, I mean, I just think it's breaking tradition.
No, but you're asking me if I think I am, and I'm telling you, no, I don't. Because I suggest 12-step meetings for people. And so what if I use the terminology? Any 12-step group does not own the terminology. It's been associated with one, but I'm sure therapists use it too. And I tell people to go online, find a 12-step group, and see if it's for them.
Isn't it attraction more than promotion?
Yes, that's why when people call, no,
you're promoting it.
No, you're
really not. You're promoting meetings. Well, yes. Yeah, you are.
No, dude, I'm not.
I think you are. I mean, you're promoting meetings. You're promoting go to computers and figure out a meeting. What other meetings are you going to go to?
There are absolutely other groups. There are absolutely. I don't know. I don't endorse them either.
I never heard of them. All right.
Okay, well, then why don't you do this? Look online and look for... So what am I supposed to do if I'm giving an advice show and somebody says, what do? I have a drinking problem.
Go get help.
Okay, what does that mean?
People know what that means.
Oh. So if I say... Hold on. If I say go get help and they know what that means, isn't that a traditions break?
No.
Why not?
You didn't say go to a 12-step program.
Oh, okay.
Program.
So I should talk in code. Hold on. I should talk in code one step removed from the code I'm talking in.
No, I mean you could say things like go to a therapist.
I have said that. I have said that.
but you've also said go to a 12-step program.
Because I think for drinking, honestly, dude, I think for drinking.
I don't need to argue about you because listen. I respect your sobriety tremendously. You got 25 years of sobriety, so that's why I called up. I was thinking about it, and I'm saying, wait a minute, isn't this breaking tradition?
No, and I understand, John. I do understand why you're asking me that. But I'm telling you why I don't think it is. You may think it's a tradition break. That's cool for you to think that, but I know I'm not breaking tradition. Believe me, I'll say this. I had a debate with a comedian on here one time about 12-step meetings, and there were plenty of personal examples I could have given, but did not because it would have been an anonymity break. And it would have been a traditions break. And I respect the traditions tremendously. And I hate when people write books and put the certain names of certain groups in there. It drives me fucking nuts. But it never bothers me when somebody says 12-step or this and that. But anyway, we disagree about that. But if you're thinking
That's all right.
Yeah. John, why are you thinking about drinking?
Well, I think it's because I haven't gone to the meetings. I think that's the focus of it. I've left my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And that comfort zone of my home group and my guys and my that, and I moved. I don't want to say I moved 100 miles away and I'm in Boise, Idaho or something. I moved 25, half an hour away, and I guess I'm using those excuses to say, it's Saturday night, I don't want to go to my home group, or it's, I just worked all day at 7 o'clock, and I got to go to my home group at night and on Wednesday, things like that. I'm using it, and I should be plugged in probably closer to my house.
John, I believe me, I understand that. I've used every excuse too. Even if I'm here in the city, and I know I can go right down the street, I get lazy. Jim Norton is Jim Norton no matter where I am, and I can make an excuse to avoid one that's 25 minutes away, and I can make an excuse to avoid one that's 5 blocks away. But you're right. What you're doing is playing on the tracks, and they say a drink is the end of a slip, not the beginning. That's the final moment in a slip is a drink. And I've been real close at times, I'm sure. I'm sure that some higher power, whatever it is, I don't even know at this point, looked out for me. I would just suggest, as you know, to go back to what it is that worked for you, because do you really need to go through what got you to getting sober to begin with? No.
Yeah, listen, I love the program. it saved my life, and if it wasn't for that, I would have been dead. So I know that. I'm not, I'm not a stupid person.
Right.
It's and I don't want to get emotional or anything like that, but I just, I know how much that it has. And I hear people call up a lot of times, and especially the other guy, oh, should I go or shouldn't I go? I played that game for years, that stupid game of it's not me. Or I remember telling people I'm not an alcoholic because I don't drink coffee and smoke cigarettes, right. Because that's all the people did, and I don't. And I had to come up with every fucking excuse in the world, and except the right excuse, which is when I put drugs or alcohol in my system, I'm a different person, and it causes problems. And that's the fucking simplest thing I can think of.
I lose control every time I do it. I lose control, and I know how I was, and I know what would happen. And you said something about I know the right answer. And I heard a guy in 1989. I remember his name was Ted. I remember where I was when he said it. And he said, knowledge is no defense against the first drink. Knowing things are really good, but knowledge will never stop me from doing it. It is what my actions are. So my suggestion would be dude, you're on the cliff, but you haven't jumped off the cliff. You picked up the phone, you know the answer. So all you got to do, Matt, is take the right action and go to where you need to go. And you know where you need to go.
I know. I appreciate it. I love you, Jimmy. And I just wanted to ask that question about, I didn't mean a confrontation.
Nah, please. We're two alcoholics. That's probably the nicest confrontation we could have had. It's not, just call back next week though, man. And try to go this week. All right.
All right, brother. Thanks.
All right. Take care. Good luck, buddy. All right. Let's see here. JC and NC wants to know what I did to quit smoking.
Hey, Jim.
I would light a cigarette and put it out in my dick hole. That's when to give really awful advice. No, I'll tell you what I did. I had a moment of clarity, It was at WNEW, and I've told the story before, so forgive my redundancy. And Anthony, I said, I'm going to quit smoking. And I had a pack of Parliaments. I said, I'm going to finish the pack. And Anthony scolded me. He goes, oh, shut up. Just throw them out. Get rid of them. So I said, he's right. So I threw my cigarettes out. I kept one left. I went into the hallway. I smoked my last Parliament. I went down to the Comedy Cellar. Smoking was still allowed back then. It's December of 2001, December 7th, I think. Esty, who is the booker of the Comedy Cellar, said, in her Israeli accent, I'm going to take you, and she took me, right, there's a terrible Esty impression, but she took me to the fucking pharmacy and got me the patch. And I did, however long the patch was, 3 weeks or whatever, I did it as it was prescribed. And I'm not a do it as prescribed person. I'm a fucking idiot. Do it for a week and then do it my way because I know better because I'm arrogant. But I did it as it was prescribed, and I quit smoking. And I used Colin Quinn, who's a terrible person, but he said the most important thing. And I've repeated it, and I'll say it again. The urge to smoking will pass whether you smoke or not. It will pass. So do either the patch or maybe an e-cigarette or whatever the fuck these things are called. You can quit. You know that?
Yeah. And I've done the patch before twice all the way through and stayed quit for maybe a couple of months after that.
Yep.
But then I'll just have one trigger that hits me. And I was kind of wondering, like, what you would do when you had triggers hit you that would be able to, that you would do to pacify that or to mitigate the effect of that trigger.
1 minute at a time, the day at a time for drinking or drugs or eating, you can do it an hour at a time, dude. You can do it 10 minutes at a time if you have to. And sometimes you got to think it through. Think a cigarette through. Think of the breath. Think of the fucking, think of having a fucking piece of your jaw taken off. That's what scared me. It wasn't dying, because dying's this intangible thing. It's going through life drooling into a fucking bag or trying to eat pussy with no tongue. Like literally losing your ability to taste food because your tongue has been removed. Think it through. And just avoid the first one. All you got to avoid is the first cigarette.
Right.
And it will pass. I promise you it will pass. But just go through it now. Go fuck New Year's. Go through the holidays. Tough it out. And realize that you'll never have to go through the initial Jones again. If you get it out of the way this time, this will be the last time you ever have to go through it.
Great, man. All right, I appreciate it.
Good luck, man. Quitting smoking is such a great thing that I did. Okay, let's see. John in Connecticut, let's lighten it up. I'm a stand-up comedian and would like some comedy advice. Well, you've called the right person.
I hope so, Jimmy.
Hi, John.
How you doing, man? Hey, listen, I have a couple things. I have about an hour. I've been doing comedy about 4 years, and I'm reasonably successfve where I'm at. I'm in Connecticut.
Okay.
And I've got to do some cool things, but I feel like I'm in a downslide.
Why?
I feel shit's not picking up. I'm not as spoken as much, and I haven't been able to crack New York. I mean, I've headlined rooms in Boston for guys that you probably know, but I don't know. I don't know with the writing. I feel like I'm in a slump, and I want to know how you ride something like that out, because you can put a special together in a year or less than a year. That amazes me.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Honestly, the way I do that is, and John, I didn't do that. So what's your name? It's John. Sorry, there's a lot of Johns.
Yeah, it's John.
I didn't do that right away. For years, I would struggle with coming up with new material. 5 minutes seemed like forever, and then you put together your 10 minutes and your headline, and eventually, the more confident I got on stage, and I'm on stage every night in New York. Right. So when you're doing a 45-minute headline set, it's kind of hard when until you have a little bit of a name for yourself to just go up there and riff 10 minutes of it. Because if you bomb, they turn on you, and you don't have the power of they're here to see me. So it could be an ugly show, and I've had plenty of it. So when I'm doing shorter sets, like in New York, you have 15 minutes or 12 minutes or 20 minutes. So there's a lot less pressure, and everybody after you is doing 20 minutes. So you can go up there and explore for 10 minutes and then eventually work that into the act. So that was how I started to do it. And then I got to a position where people came out to see me, and I can go out and do these. Like I'm doing this Mount Kisco, New York shows this weekend, and I have most of my new hour together. But I'm still playing with the terminology and the order. So I do cheap tickets and I work it like that. But
I almost feel like I'm more afraid of bombing now with new shit than I was when I started.
Sure, because you have something to lose now. You feel like you're a little established. And the last thing you want when you're starting to feel good about yourself as a comedian is something to remind us of how scary this really is. You know, once in a while, after all these years, I'll bomb at the Comedy Cellar or some other room. And it's usually not headlining, but I'll go up and take a fat dick. And I'll go, oh my fucking God, was that scary. Once in a while, I remember, this was a few years ago, I was warming up for the Jay Leno show. I was doing this. It was a stupid thing I did on flying. It was like a segment called, The Uninvited Guest. So I went on in this room in the Village. It was not the Comedy Cellar to try this material. And I bombed so fucking horribly. And I bombed in a way that I couldn't get out of it. Like, if I'm bombing now, I usually have a bunch of rabbits I can pull out of the fucking hat after all these years to make it salvageable. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I learned the little tricks, and you learn, like, the fucking when to laugh at my own joke just to pull a dumb fucking, a salvageable fucking non-humiliating experience out of the thing, whatever. This was one that nothing I did worked. And none of my experience meant anything. I was an open micer again, eating my fucking cock in a room, and nobody cared about me. And I walked out of that room and I was shaken up, man. And it was good to have those. It's good to have those. So it's
I know
okay.
it is. It puts you back to reality. And I got to, the open mic guys in the first, but you probably do it on a higher level with the resentment. There's a little bit of bullshit that comes with that, where I think they want to see you flop on your head, too.
Sure, maybe they do, but fuck the open mic guys and fuck the other comics, because they're not the ones who pay your rent. They're not the ones standing on stage when you're fucking eating your balls at the fucking Comedy Connection, or, you know what I mean? It's got to be you, and you have to go on, and you going on and working on new material and open mics, that would inspire some comics, too. They'd be like, wow, this guy's making a living, and he's coming on and working on new material. But regardless of how they feel, I would suggest doing some open mics, get on stage more than you're getting on, do some free shows, and go on and take some risks and tape it. And, dude, that's part of the fun of what we do, is we go up there and take risks.
Before you let me go, I want you to know you were the inspiration for me to get on stage the first time.
Oh, thank you, man. That's a great honor.
You were the one who said stop being. You told another guy to stop being a pussy and get up on stage and stop being afraid of it. And I did it, and it's been successful. So I really appreciate you.
Well, thank you, man.
In Connecticut, man.
As the years have gone on, people have told me that just because of my, my length of time in the business. Eventually people, I guess, the younger guys come up. So thank you, man. That's a great compliment from another comedian. I appreciate it. Good luck, man.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Justin in Ohio has a problem cheating on his gal. Oh.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Justin.
Hey, Jimmy. I don't know if you are you able to hear me?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Hey, I don't know if you remember my phone call. It was the time that O&A were out, and you and Bobby decided to take some phone calls. And that was over the summer. And at the time, if you remember the story, my story is that I was a perpetual adulterer. And
sure.
And I remember one thing that you said to me that still resonates to me to this day is that if you remember the story, there was one of the girls that I got involved with. She ended up calling my fiance and telling her of my past with other women, but didn't actually admit to herself being one of them.
Okay.
And there was a statement that you made that, look, dude, you've skated all this time and that you actually just need to stop. And unfortunately, that wasn't enough for me. And it's actually not unfortunate in hindsight, because in doing so, I was ultimately discovered cheating, and I had to confess. Mind you, the numbers were a little bit skewed when I presented it to her, because I think it would have just devastated her had I presented everything.
Sure.
And by me saying that, I guess the purpose of this call is to give a follow-up update and maybe see the positive in this. And the positive is that after I was discovered, we began to go to counseling and really got down to the true root cause of why I was behaving the way that I was. And a lot of it was problems within our relationship and holes within our relationship. And I don't think that our relationship would have gotten up to where it is today or where it was prior to yesterday, in that we were actually beginning to work things out. A lot of my acting out stemmed from her inability to control her temper, and if you remember me, I listened to the radio bit and
hold on one second. Did you? Do you think that part of your acting out was her inability to control her temper?
Absolutely.
Now, have you cheated on her since?
Yes.
Now, when did you cheat on her again?
it was probably a month and a half after I was discovered. I'd been going through to an SA meeting and spending $120 a week on a counselor, and I know how I regress and get to the point where I do end up acting out again is my disconnection from her. And that was when, at the time, she was just refusing affection from me and kind of was just extra angry and blamed it on my infidelity.
Justin, let me jump in for a second, buddy, because I understand that like her having a temper is kind of cunty and it's annoying and I would hate it and it would make me want to go out and fuck other girls. But be careful of one trap that we fall into, and I say we because I do too. You can't, when something's addictive behavior, other things trigger our behavior, but we can't blame outside entities for my problem. Believe me, dude, I love passing blame, but I drank and I cheat because I want to cheat, and that's it. I want to act out sexually, so I do. Because if I start putting my sexual sobriety or my real sobriety or whatever, my drinks on other things are always going to fail me. So I'm building in an excuse to go out and do that shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, other people will always do something to quote unquote trigger me. It's what I do with it that counts. So don't blame her temper, even though her temper might suck. That's not why you act out.
You're absolutely right, and it isn't. There is something to blame for it, and it isn't other people's actions, and it isn't. It's like you said, how you deal with the stress.
Sure.
And mine actually stems from way deeper than that. Mine stems from the fact that I had significant loss as a child, and I just protect myself, and I see that her anger as a potential threat. Therefore, I need to seek other women to. I guess get the validation or the connection, whatever it is that I need, and I completely understand that. So yesterday, what happened was she was looking on my tablet and discovered that I was again soliciting these girls online.
Yeah.
But there was a very distinct cut-up point in which I stopped the communication, which was the 8th of this month. And that was when things started to turn around, where I felt a connection with her, where I felt we have 2 children together. And one of the things that I completely resent her to this day is her temper and the way it affects my 5-year-old daughter. It breaks her heart, and it's confusing to her, and I don't want my kids to
Did you ever
messed
think,
up.
let me ask you a question, Justin. Did you ever think, and again, blaming each other, did you ever think that part of her temper or part of her attitude is because deep down she knows you're cheating? Like,
no, absolutely not.
Women are not as stupid as we think. I'm not, maybe not, but I'm telling you, they pick up on stuff so much more than we think they do.
Oh,
they
I
sense
absolutely
it.
agree with that.
So maybe that's not the cause of her temper, but don't think that what you're doing won't be picked up by her and cause resentment and cause her to lash out at weird times either.
Oh, no, I get that. I totally get that. And, I mean, I think at this point, this is the last straw. She had a really fucked up childhood, too. And that's where her anger stems from, is the fact that her mother married a man who was not the father of any of her sisters.
Too many different directions here. Now, are you going to, and we have to let you go in a second, buddy, just so I got a bunch of people on hold, but what is it you're going to do about this? Are you going to just stop cheating on her, or are you still going to cheat until you get caught again?
No. I'm done with the cheating, and I don't think that the relationship is repairable at this point, because she has already... When I was discovered, I confessed to being with 5 different women, and now, she was willing to try to work through that, but I went and did this again. And
you did it again. Yeah, she gave you another chance, and you did it again.
Yeah.
All right, well, maybe the relationship will end. Maybe it needs to end.
I don't wish for it to end, and I don't have a choice. I have to live with my actions.
Yes, you do.
I'm taking full accountability for it.
Okay, buddy. All right, good luck, Justin. I don't mean to cut you off. We just got to get to a few other people,
problem,
but I hope it works out, whatever's meant to work out, I hope she either leaves or stays, whatever is better for you, all right?
Yeah, I appreciate it, Jimmy.
Take care, my friend. Okay, let's see here. Ted in Long Island has an eating problem. Somebody's been throwing corn over his shoulder. Hi, Ted.
No, hey, Jimmy. No,
Hey, Travis, he's missing.
Not an eating disorder. It was ED.
Oh, an ED. Oh, that's hilarious. You have erectile problems. Even better. What's up? Are you calling, or am I just thinking this about my life? Okay, it's another person. What's up, buddy? Well, actually, what's not?
12 years or so. I mean, I've banged a lot of chicks.
Yeah.
And but a lot of time, if I'm banging like a pig or a skank or someone who it doesn't really matter to me, or their opinion or
Your
anything.
dick works great.
Oh, I bang snot out of them. But too often, if somebody that I like, somebody that matters, that I care about, and not every time, but too often, it just doesn't work out. I was wondering if you have any insight or.
Yeah, it's my whole life, buddy. I'll tell you what it is, or what I think it is. It's risk factor. I'm completely free and comfortable, whether it's a hooker or somebody I don't care about. There's no risk. There's no performance anxiety. And typically, when I'm with somebody like that and I'm horny, I just want to get a load off. But a lot of times, what happens with a person I care about or I think is really beautiful or I love, I feel performance anxiety because their opinion matters. How they feel matters. And I also confuse love and lust. So I don't know sometimes if I want to lay with a girl I really like and kiss her and just touch her, and yet she grabs my dick. Maybe I'm not horny. Maybe I think I'm supposed to be horny because the pretty girl grabbed my dick, but I just want some affection. With the ugly pig who I don't care about, I know I don't want the affection because I wouldn't get that from her. Do you know what I mean? And so there's a lot less confusion and a lot less risk with some pig than there is somebody I care about. So a lot of times it's just identifying what I want, which is hard. It's difficult to always know what I want. Sometimes I think I want sex, but I just want to lay there with someone, and it's not easy for a guy to say.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the problem. But you don't feel ashamed when it happens. I know it's hard. Try to talk it out with a girl, because women are, first of all, every girl has had a guy have that happen to them. And if you talk to them, a lot of times they feel better about it because they know it's not them.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about it before. It's just that the last chick I was with, wasn't hearing about it. She had her own issues, and she made it all about her, and it made me feel bad about it. So that's why it's just coming up again. I had it under wraps for a little bit, and but this, the last girl I was with, and it made me feel shitty about it.
Well, it's all mental, dude, because even if you're like, I'm not thinking about it, you're thinking about it. And then the sexual experience starts, you're like, oh, good, it's still hard. Oh, wait, is it going to stay hard? Oh, my God, it's not going to stay hard. Oh, God, I can feel it. I'm losing it. My legs are getting weaker. It becomes an obsession, and you sabotage every experience. But do you take Cialis or Viagra?
No, I thought about that, though.
Sometimes that helps because mentally like I've lost a rod even with 100 milligram Viagra in me, but it's rare. So I would suggest trying one of those, because a lot of times that will help mentally, where you feel more confident and you don't worry as much.
Yeah. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks.
All right. Good luck. And, what you want to do is you want to get laid, dude. It's hard banging a girl with a limp dick. It's like giving her a shitty gift. Your limp dick is a shitty gift, and the holidays are fast approaching. You don't want to give a shitty gift. Not a lot of time left. So go to IHateStevenSinger.com, because not only is Steven Singer completely impotent, he has great gifts. You have to get the woman in your life a gift, especially if you're not fucking her right. Get her a ring. You want it to be a great gift for the holidays to make up for your noodly penis. Well, Steven Singer, who has a noodly penis, knows what every woman wants, and it's not his limp dick. It's diamonds, because they're hard, unlike your penis. Diamonds are hard. They're beautiful. They sparkle. The simple elegance of the diamond. Steven's going to make it easy and affordable. So check out his diamond stud earrings. They start at $199. Diamond and stud. Two things you're not, sir. A stud or a hard diamond. You're a noodle flop. So she wants a stud diamond. These really are beautiful. They're high quality. They're bright white diamonds. Go online to IHateStevenSinger.com right now and see all of Steven's amazing diamond jewelry. Steven makes holiday shopping really, really easy and affordable. So you go online to IHateStevenSinger.com. Just check out his great selection of diamonds for her. Go to IHateStevenSinger.com. Just get your holiday shopping done. That's why you don't have to worry about it. Because that's what happens with your erections. You worry about it, and you panic. It fucking flops on your leg like a slug. That's why you have a slug dick on your thigh, leaving a trail. Shipping's always fast and it's always free. Steven makes shopping fun, whether it's in the showroom or whether you're online with your dick in your hand. But if you're on the showroom, you should also have your dick in your hand. It's on the other corner of 8th and Walnut, because Steven likes that. He'll, if you walk in with your dick in your hand, you get a free cup of coffee. 1-888-IHateStevenSinger.com. Wait, oh, no, sorry, I'm mixing two things at once. That'll fuck everybody up. 1-888-IHateStevenSinger or online, IHateStevenSinger.com. We do love Steven Singer, and his diamond stud earrings are absolutely gorgeous. And I have given them as gifts to make up for my cheating. We have 5 min. What are 5 min? Oh, minutes. Okay, I'm not a good abbreviator. I thought 5 min. Now Mike in Pennsylvania, before I put you on, John called up and we talked about anonymity breaks. I'm not going to argue about a specific program or its merits. So you're saying you have resentments towards certain meetings. Don't talk about what the meetings are. Just tell me what your resentment is based in, if you can, in a nutshell. Okay, Mike?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Okay, buddy, thanks.
Yeah, no, my resentment basically is...
I'm sorry to interrupt. How long have you been sober?
Yeah, I've been sober about like 7-8 years now.
Okay.
Since I met my wife, pretty much, man. My cure of my drinking was a woman.
Okay.
And basically, my resentment was, when I went to it, hey, they substitute everything. God, they use religion, number one.
Well, hold on. Let me talk this through with you. In my experience, they do mention God, but they also say God can be good, orderly direction, group of drunks, any power greater than myself. So I will say this. I've never in my life felt religion forced on me. Not Islam, not Christianity, not Judaism. I've never felt religion forced on me.
Yeah, maybe it was just the ones that I was trying to attend then, Okay. It was like everyone was coming off with that, They were holding it in a church also, so, that may have been the reason.
Sure.
But
church, don't forget, church basements a lot of times are very low rent, and they donate their spaces. A lot of times they're held in libraries or in high schools, too. There are all kinds of meetings, and I'm not shitting on you. I'm going step by step with this, because I understand you get some... Okay, go ahead, buddy.
That's all. Then the others is like the other guy John did say, they substitute all the say the drinking and everything with smoking, sweets.
Sure.
And
sure.
It's like I don't smoke, so I'm sitting in a room with like about 12 tables. They give you 2 tables out of the 12, for non-smokers. And I'm sitting there choking, trying to, do my thing. But the thing that got me the most was seeing the people that were going up there. It was like a small little city town where I was at. Sure. And Bayonne, shitty, okay. Like I said. And, I see these people up there, and they're getting their chips. And not even like a couple days before that on the Ave, I'm seeing them coming out of bars, half lit and shit, and going to people I know, substituting that drink with bags of weed or...
All right, so Mike, the point is this. You're right. There are people... They say some are sicker than others. There are people who are full of shit. There are people who don't do it right. But there are enough people who aren't full of shit that really are giving people who have had their life saved. So yeah. I know that when I'm setting myself up for it, because it sounds to me, just from what you're saying, that you're setting yourself up for a drink. Because they say between 5 and 10 years is a really hard time because life gets good. We're used to not being drunk. You know what I mean?
I'm setting myself up for a drink?
By what you're doing. It sounds to me...
Oh, no. Don't get me wrong, man. Jimmy, I'm going good, man.
Okay.
8 years. I'm just saying from before, I wound up stopping and going and just like doing it on myself. And I had a epiphany, basically. I was coming back from Florida with some friends, and I woke up and I said, I was like, I'm done. I was like, I'm going to meet the right girl, and I'm just going to stop everything, the drugs, the drinking, it all. And sure enough, a couple months later, I met me the right girl, doesn't do anything. I say she's the yin to my yang because, she's like the good to my evil. and she turned me around.
Okay, well, I've always found I've never been able to put my being sober. It can never be, for me, contingent on outside circumstances, but if that's what works for you, then that's what works for you. I mean, I'm happy you're sober.
Yeah. She stopped me from going to the bars and things like that, and the others. It's like, but the thing, Jim, was I was trying, and I went to multiple ones, and just the same thing, seeing the same thing, the same people showing up there, and then I'm seeing them messed up on the Ave. From days before, and it just I was like, to me that was all a joke. Then I was like, I can't do this, and I did it on my own. I had the little epiphany. Don't mean to sound gay, but
no, it's not gay.
Sure enough, it worked. It worked for me, and it's like I tell people all the time. It's like it's all about you, just like you said, and how you want to do it, if you want to do it. And me myself, I was gonna end up dead, man, and.
Mike, we have to let you go only because we only have less than a minute left. But I'll say this:
Thanks, Jim.
I appreciate you calling, and I'm glad you're sober. The only concern I have is when you put it on somebody else. It's a girl or it's a job, and that's what got me. If that girl leaves, then what?
Nah, Jim, we just had a baby, man. We're good. We're solid.
Okay. Well, I wish you a lot of luck, and even if she goes, I hope that you don't blow it, and even if she stays, I hope you don't blow it. Whatever's working for you, good luck, my friend. But don't be resentful. Look, you find shitty people or phony people in every avenue in life. 12-step programs are no different than fucking your work situation. There's great people there, and there's people that aren't. Thank you for the call, Mike. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Be well. So you can't let those experiences turn you off from them. Because you're going to find that everywhere in life. All right, let's just say thank you to everyone for the calls. The guy, Trevor in PA, we didn't get to you, seeking advice on drug addiction. I would suggest, again, either going to a therapist or a rehab if you have that problem. 12-step person in 12-step group disagrees with some of the group ideas about eating. You're an overeater. Okay. If you agree with some of their ideas, you agree with some of their ideas. Hopefully you have a sponsor you can talk to. And anyone else who wants to call back next Wednesday.
No. That's Christmas.
Oh, Chris. Well, I will give the gift of life. Maybe I'll do an advice show we won't be here.
On Christmas?
Oh, you people are fucked for the next 2 weeks. Well, all you guys are going to die. Thank you for calling in. I hope you all try to stay sober through the fucking holidays, please. Good night, guys. Thank you.
Jim Norton is now done dealing with your bullshit. He'll be back next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. But you can listen to episodes of The Jim Norton Show whenever you want. Go to SiriusXM.com/on-demand for details. All right, well, that sucked. To hear The Opie and Anthony Show 5 days a week live on satellite radio, online on your phone or tablet, or even on demand, go to SiriusXM.com. Also, interact with the Opie and Anthony Show on Twitter, @Opie Radio, @Anthony Cumia, and @Jim Norton.